Hey everyone, it's the 29th of March 2017. I'm in Stockton, UK. I'm here at LPW, Legit Pro Wrestling, with head coach here, Chris Crossan.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me, man. It's been a blast.
Good to have you.
Yeah. So this is not my usual kind of clubs that I run to. Usually I've been doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Through friends, I met this man, and he's been showing me all about catch wrestling. We were talking about this before. I learned about catch wrestling when I was watching the technical wrestlers in pro wrestling.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
In Canada, it's got a rich history.
Yeah, it does.
A dungeon.
Yeah. And then, as I'm training and other grapplers come in and having kind of wrestling backgrounds, and they show us some catch techniques. I've only known it from there, little bits here and there, and I've always been really intrigued by it.
Yeah.
But for viewers that might not really know what catch is, can you give us a bit of a rundown of it?
Yeah, Catch-As-Catch-Can. It's an old Lancashire submission wrestling art, no holds barred. It was brought over from the Irish. And the Irish and the English also took it to the United States.
Yeah.
It was made famous by obviously the likes of Carl Estad, Carl Gotch, the late great Billy Robinson, who's Shooting Sakuraba, defeated most of the Gracie family. Obviously Josh Barnett's gone out there defeating everybody, and not only MMA, becoming UFC champion. He's also went out there and he's defeated the best grapplers in the world, and he's the man right now that's keeping catch wrestling firmly on the map.
Yeah, yeah. What makes catch so different from other wrestling styles? I know, what you see usually on TV when it comes to sports, be the collegiate wrestling that US does.
That comes from catch, folk style comes from catch also, but they took the submissions out, as did Olympic freestyle. When it was originally in the Olympics, its name was Amateur Catch-As-Catch-Can. So it all comes from catch. What it meant in Lancashire is catch me if you can. That's what it's all about. We'll just go from position to position. You're given things to take things. Like I was showing you yesterday, like Amni and I was showing you the double wrist lock, not known as the kimura now. Obviously, some of the things we were showing you was quite different to how you've been doing them previously. And I know you were picking it up very quickly. I'm sure you can add it to your game.
I'm looking forward to it. There's definitely some different techniques to really properly utilize your body, I guess.
And we showed you the Grovet as well. And it's a no holds barred grappling system. And I know now EBI is becoming very popular. I love the rule set there. Although there isn't pins, I think that's the closest thing out there to catch, because they allow every submission. I'm not sure if you can put your knee on the face, and I'm not sure, maybe there's a couple of things, but it's more or less no holds barred. So if jiu-jitsu guys are wanting to go into these type of tournaments, I advise them to learn catch. I'm also a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. I've trained Jiu-Jitsu for a long time. I like to train everything. Our school, Legit Pro Wrestling HQ, we're affiliated to CSW, Combat Submission Wrestling, and Sensei Eric Paulson. So obviously he's been mixing the grappling arts for a long time. And we're just out there, we're just like you see on the mat there, there's guys who's competing in MMA, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, catch wrestling, everybody's just coming in, there's no egos, everybody's shaking hands, just getting on the mat and training hard.
Huge monsters, friendly monsters.
Big friendly giants.
So what is your history? How long have you been training?
It was 2000 when I started grappling. I was into boxing at the time. Well, 1999 I went to a grappling class. I said it's a waste of time. I'll just hit them. What's the point in this? I was lifting heavy at the time, young, very arrogant really. When I think, that won't work on me. These skinny guys rolling about on the floor. And
they'd never work in the streets.
Then I got into a fight with a world-class wrestler outside a nightclub. A guy from Afghanistan. He picked me up, and I was in the air thinking, wow, this is amazing. I've got to learn this. Then bang, down I went. And so I arranged a fight a couple of days later. So I quickly found a guy that ran all the security in the area, knew some grappling. I learned to sprawl. I learned the guillotine, went back and had another fight, and I was hooked then. And actually the guy, I asked him to teach me wrestling. A year down the line, I started showing him striking, and I was addicted. There was no Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu really. I started to travel to Doncaster, which is like a 180-mile round trip. I'd travel there, I'd be backwards and forwards, and after about 10 lessons, I decided to go to Brazil. So my white belt that I barely knew how to put on, I went off to Brazil, to Gracie Barra, and at that time all the top guys were there. It was amazing. And between 2003 and 2005, I'd travel backwards and forwards. I'd compete, you know, won a couple of golds at Euros, and medaled in Brazil at the white belt, blue belt. I started getting more into mixed martial arts type of stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, and then I came across, it was in 2002, I went through the guy in his garage, John Calvert, an old army guy, and he was showing me techniques. He was saying illegal old wrestling techniques. Little did I know that was catch. He showed me neck cranks, face bars. Then it was Mick Shaw in about 2005. Sifu Mick Shaw invited me to learn Sifu Larry Hartzell's JKD grappling, and he started to introduce me to Sambo, Catch-As-Catch-Can, and I was really into this. There was only one guy that I'd practiced with. Everyone else was like, oh, this is dirty, and you kind of get in trouble at jiu-jitsu school when you start putting your knees on the face and putting them in grovets and things. But then some guys, some traveller guys, like gypsy guys, came into my school over 10 years ago, and they started just manhandling us all, killing everybody with catch wrestling. And they didn't really teach us anything, they just beat us up for 4 years when they were in town. But recently they started actually sharing techniques with us, and we've learnt a lot from them. There's pockets of people in the UK that have catch wrestling, but they tend to, a lot of these old timers and people that know it, keep it to themselves.
So you started in jiu-jitsu first?
But that was kind of like just grappling. There was like guys that worked security knew. Then some guys know a bit of judo. There was one guy that had been to the United States, did like 2 weeks at the Carlson Gracie place. This was like way before YouTube. You know, we were getting USC videos on VHS. I remember my first mixed rules match. It was in the garden. You no sweeps and you want submission. I'm just like hitting the guy in the heels. I'd seen Hoist do it. And we knew nothing. We were just rolling about really and trying to figure it out.
That's cool. There's a few people I've run into on my trip that have told me, it's like, man, we just started in someone's garage, rolling around. I'm amazed
by how big things are now. But you know, we brought Hodger Gracie to this little town in like 2003 or something. We started bringing Gordino, we're bringing black belts over because we made the connection. So, and Neil Owen, my coach, you know, he's still my coach now, that I started working with back in 2003. He was always out in Brazil. He was going out to Enzo Gracie Academy. He was competing worldwide, and he's got a very successful franchise now in Australia, Infinity, and he's back over in England, which is good for us. And he's just always threw everything in there. And there's a lot of tough guys in Doncaster to roll with. That's a hotbed in the north of England, and it always was, because when they started off at the judo club, there was like Steve Gawthorpe, who was the British judo coach, and there was always good people on the mat from different areas. So finding those guys in Doncaster, that was really important to me.
Nice. So you mentioned this earlier. You were talking about the double wrist lock.
Yeah.
So there's all kinds of I have noticed myself, like there's all kinds of little things that we see kind of emerging with no-gi being big nowadays.
Same with the leg locks. I remember putting a heel look on someone in Brazil and they were screaming at me, no leggy locks. I was like, what? We just always trained up everything, and now leg locks are huge in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
And that's so like there's a lot of like coming from catch that are we're seeing coming out nowadays in no-gi that have been around forever in catch.
Well, if you look in those caves, you know, like from thousands of years ago, you'll see these submissions, you know, the wheel always goes full circle. There's nothing new in grappling. The late great Billy Robertson used to say, and it's right, you know, we go through seasons. All those leg locks originally were in judo also.
Yeah, it's funny how that's changed over the years. Could you maybe we can get some guys to show us some of these, like what we're going through yesterday, the double wrist lock,
the setups
takedown,
and the differences, for sure. I'll hobble on. I tore my quad out in Italy a couple of days ago, but I'll soldier on, of course.
Cool. Yeah.
So again, forgive me. I'm like carrying a lot of injuries. So firstly, it's the grips. Different also. You know, we can grab onto the arm. We can grab on the hand, but I always want 2 fingers on the hand and 2 fingers on the arm. Yeah, remember, it's a wrist lock. I want to make sure that I have control of his body. Yeah, I'm pinning him. So when we take the actual lock, I'm keeping his thumb very, very close to his body, okay? And I'm not going to go from here, because there's a good chance he's going to roll me. If I start here, if he's half worth his salt, he's going to put me on my back. I'm going to put my knee right onto his head, so he cannot bridge me. I can also put my foot over, but I can't now because I've torn my quad. Yeah? If he's holding on tight, maybe he's wearing a belt or whatever, look, can you see that? I'm using my elbow into his delt. We can also change from there. We're always looking to attack the legs. Or I may want to push my hand off. Oh, thank you very much. We're back here again. I've also took his arm. Yeah. I also like to attack the double wrist lock from the north to south position, but I like to get him on his side. Yeah. Say he is flat. I like to kick start his head and get him onto his side. This is where I want to be. I've just won a match from here with a clock head scissors, or crooked head scissors, it's commonly known as. So see, he's holding on tight from here. Yeah. When I'm pulling away to my left, he's going to hold on extremely tight. So what I do, his power's here, I go with the power, and then I break, and then I push down. If it was a match, my elbow will be going to the floor. His power's to my right, I go with it, and I lift, and I turn. Yeah. Sometimes he's holding on extremely tight. You know, I had a guy like this in the match not so long ago. Get your elbows and dig it into the ribs and lift it up. This guy, he was much heavier than me. I was in this position, he was not letting go. I could not get it out, yeah. So what I had to do, I changed my position, I nipped my knees together, and I turned. Trying to come around this side. So I won my bout with this. A move very, very, very popular in Catch-As-Catch-Can. I come through, nip my legs together to clock head scissors. Also, when he's on his back, what I do like to do is this. As if I'm doing what you jiu-jitsu guys know as Matalion, yeah?
Yeah.
Kill the lion. I'm squeezing his arm. You may get the tap from here. But what I do like to do is come all the way around. I'll do this slowly because I'm injured. And I'm sitting through. I would sit my leg all the way out. What I like to do when I'm going with jiu-jitsu guys, I'll throw some catch in to catch them by surprise. When I'm going with catch guys, I'll probably use some sambo, jiu-jitsu. You know, absorb what's useful, disregard what's useless, add what's your own. You know, Bruce Lee was right. Look at us now. I think in this modern era, it's all about grappling. Everybody's doing everything. There's no secrets anymore. I know there's some guys who say you've got to train in just one place, but for the most part, people are getting on the mat with one another. They're out there exchanging ideas, exchanging techniques. There's YouTube, there's lots of resources. There's guys like yourself traveling the world, you're just going out there and looking for it, and I think it's great. Yeah, also, a lot of the time from here, you may start getting underhook. Just swim. Yeah, see what I did? I got the wrist lock. He gets the underhook, swim, and then on. Then we can turn it to what's known as the top wrist lock, Americana, in Jiu-Jitsu. Yeah. I put my hand all the way to the floor, depending on the other guy's flexibility. It will come to here. It's a slight variation. And also with this top wrist lock, you know, twist. It's a wrist lock, remember? Twist. Twist it. Also, through. Whoop, back here again. Yeah. Another thing that I find differs, I was always told in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu that like Casey could tell me that this is a bad technique, you know, because you're giving them an underhook. Yeah, does that make sense? He can come over, he can take you back, which is correct. But look, if I put my hands in here, this is no longer happening. Take my back. Can you see that? So if you're just flat and you're sloppy, of course, lift up the head. Can you see that? Make it very uncomfortable for him. Lift up the head. And there's lots and lots of techniques we can do from here. You can also slide straight off and attack. We could go on forever. In catch, we chain a lot of techniques, especially with combat submission wrestling. Everything's mixed in, and we're doing a lot of combat submission wrestling here, so we're just bringing in all styles and enjoying ourselves, sharing ideas and sparring hard. Yeah, I used to like to guillotine from standing, you know. Back in the day, you could just like twist. People didn't really know any ways to defend it. But now everybody's aware. So in catch wrestling, instead of just coming for a guillotine, you come across. Can you see that? This is the grovet. I'm pushing across. I'm getting the elbow across, and I'm. Yeah. You could sprawl. You could jump into it. I showed a friend of mine who was a Premier League Football Club sports physio. I said, what would happen if you had this done on you? He looked at me with disgust. He said, you know, it would destroy the neck area. He couldn't believe that I'd ask him such a question. He said it would attack the nervous system too. You know, it's a naughty technique. If you want to get bad out of your school, and then also, you can do it with the shoulder. I won't even put that on. Yeah, because that tap's hurting my injury. I'm joking.
So that was the double wrist lock?
Yeah, and a few, just grabbing, attacking the leg a little bit, clock head scissors as well.
Yeah, and then the last technique you were saying?
Grovet.
The Grovet.
Yeah, the Lancashire Grovet.
The Grovet. Even the name sounds...
Yeah, doesn't sound nice, does it?
Sounds dirty, yeah, it doesn't sound fun. That's, but thanks for showing us that. Yeah. That was amazing. It's been awesome training here with you. Yeah. If you guys are passing through, definitely come by here. To me, you know, adding more tools just makes it, you know, your game better. And catch definitely helps the top game.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and there's also a bottom game, but we'll show you that next time.
Yeah, cool.
Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you. All right, and for you, that's it for now.
Hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, till next time. See you on mats. Peace.